I hope you guys are all doing great. This is the nail art design we will be working on this Friday. Let's get started. The first thing you'll have to do is a French manicure in the color of your choice. The one I chose is yellow, and I'm going to want a little bit of shimmer. I don't know if you guys could see it through the back there, but there's a little bit of shimmer in the background. So that's what I'm going to be using. A little bit of shimmer, and I'm going to be using yellow loose powdered glitter for that. So I'm going to get my regular clear polish, and all I'm going to do is dip the tip in the glitter, and then I'm just going to brush it on. Just brushing it on very lightly. I don't want horribly a lot of shimmers and not too little. A lot of this is going to be covered with the art. So all I've done there is that I've added the glitter. So next thing to do is allow this to completely dry. So now that my background is completely dry, we're going to begin working on the flower you see here on the side. I'm going to be using white nail polish for that. That's the first step to doing that. I'm going to glop my piece of paper with white nail polish, and I'm going to be using a slanted tip brush. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to dip the tip of my brush, and I'm going to do the 3 petals on the side, the 3 that you see there. So I'm going to do one towards the middle. So there's 1 petal. I'm going to do one going towards sideways but on the bottom. There's 2. And I'm going to do the 3rd one a little bit higher, slanted towards the top. So there's my 3 flower petals. The next thing I'm going to do is that leaf you see there, I'm going to outline it in white as well. Because we want, when we place the green polish, we want it to be a little bit translucent. So I'm going to be doing the leaf over on that area. So the next thing to do is I'm going to be getting my black nail art polish, and I'm going to be side swiping this area you see here. But first I want to create the guidelines. Unless you're really good at doing straight lines and you don't need the nail art polish, then you can use that method as well. So what I'm going to do is, up on this area, I'm going to start from the corner, and I'm going to bring it all the way up. And all I have next to do is to fill in that area, because the tips are going to be filled all the way through, all the way around. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my black polish, and all I'm going to do is fill in this area, and I'm going to bring it all the way around. So the very tip, I don't want to go too deep with it, but I'm doing the very tip, and I want to round this off a little bit. I don't want it to have such a straight, hard line. I want it to round off into the design. So that's where we are so far. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get my glopping piece of paper again, and I'm going to be glopping it with the pink polish. I'm using sort of like a pink purple tone color to outline my flower. And before I start, I want you to know that this design is very forgiving. You don't have to have a perfect outline of the pink area. It can be a little bit out of the lines. Actually, it's better if it is out of the lines, because we're going to be outlining it with the black nail art polish. So you want the outline to be a little bit thicker, which is why I'm using this kind of brush. So if you use your nail art polish, that's also fine, but just make sure that they're a little bit thicker. And remember, they don't have to be perfect. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, and I'm going to be outlining the flowers. Nothing perfect or pretty, just outlining the flowers. It's not the end of the design if you go out of the line. Actually, it looks a little bit pretty if you do go out of the lines. And now the top one over here. Okay, so the next thing to do, in the middle of my flower, I'm going to fill it in with the pink as well. So that's where we are so far. I'm going to be doing a very thin line in the middle of the flowers. So just nothing fancy, just a line. We want there to be a little bit of pink in the middle of our flower. Nothing pretty or perfect, just a line. So there are our 3 lines that we've created. The next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to move over to my flower, my leaf. So what we're going to do with the leaf, I'm going to glop my piece of paper with green polish. Now the green polish could be one of your choice. And what I'm going to do is, I don't want the green leaf to be horribly dark. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my brush, and all I'm doing is going over it and brushing it, because I don't want my brush to be really full. I want it to be lightly full. And very sloppily, all I'm going to do is run my brush over it, because I want some of the white to show through. Just like that. We're not going for perfect, we're going for a little bit of highlighted areas. So now that we've done that, let's allow this to completely dry before we continue. Now that our flower and our leaf are completely dry, we're going to begin working on the stripes and the dots we're going to be adding. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline my petals and my leaf. So I'm going to get a nail art polish for this. And remember, you're not looking for perfection in this design. You want to be a little bit thinner than you were with the pink polish, but it's okay if you're not perfect. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline this one over here. Very carefully, going round and round, but remember, if it's not perfect, it's okay. Now I'm going to do the second one, starting deep, and I'm going to go around it and around it. Now the bottom one, around and around. So that's all we've done so far. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the leaf. And I don't want to go all around the leaf. I'm just going to do the very sides of the leaf. As you can see there. Right there. Okay, so I'm just going to do the very top sides of the leaf. So I'm going to go around and around like that. The next thing I'm going to do, in between my petals, I'm going to draw also a black line, and in my leaf as well. So I'm going to go in, and all I'm doing is a thin line. It could be as thin or as thick as you want it, but we don't want to cover the back pink one completely. In the middle of my green leaf, I'm also going to be adding a little tiny stripe. So that's all we've done so far. Now we're going to start working on the stripes you see on the sides of the flower. The first stripe I'm going to do is the only white one we have in our design, which is after our first petal. I'm going to be drawing a white stripe under the leaf. So I'm going to get my white nail art polish, and this is going to be the only white stripe in the design. So this stripe goes under the first petal. So under my first petal, all I'm going to do is that sort of a stripe. I'm going under my leaf, as you can see there. The next stripes I'm going to be doing are all going to be using the black striper polish. So I'm going to get my black striper polish again with a thin tip brush. And your stripes can pretty much go wherever you want them to go. I'm going to start off by doing my first one right under the white one. So I'm going to start over on this area, and I'm just going to bring it up. The next one is going to be under my second petal. I'm going to start right in the middle, and I'm going to bring it all the way up. My last one, and this one's optional, you don't have to do it there, but all I'm going to do is my last stripe, I'm going to bring it all the way out like that. So I have 3 stripes going on there. The next thing to do is I'm going to be getting my glopping piece of paper again, and I'm going to be glopping my piece of paper with black nail polish, and I'm going to be doing the dots under my stripes. So we're going to have dots going on up on this area, under my first stripe, and under my second stripe. So I'm going to get my dotting tool, the small dotting tool, the smallest one I have. I don't want my dots to be horribly big. So I'm going to start here, and I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. So we have our 3 dots there. The next one I'm going to do are going to be in here in between. So I'm going to start over on this area. I'm going to do 1, 2, and 3. And the last ones I'm going to do over on this bottom area. I'm going to start here, 2, and 3. So we're almost done with our design. The only thing I have left to do is up in the top, I'm going to be adding 3 yellow dots in my black area. So I'm going to glop my piece of paper with yellow polish. And I'm going to be using the same small size dotting tool. It's just a small one. I don't want it to be so horribly big. I want my dots to be small enough. So I'm going to start over on this area on the corner, and I'm going to do 1, 2, and I shouldn't be dipping again, but there's 2 and there's 3. So there's my 3 dots. The next thing I'm going to do is in between my flower, I'm going to be dipping in the black, and I'm going to do a couple of dots in between my flower. It's up to you to add how many or how little you want. So all I'm doing is that. I'm not going to add too many. I just decided to add 5 dots. And all you'll have left to do is add your top coat and your design is ready. I hope you guys like this design. Try it out using your favorite colors. Be safe, and I'll see you guys this Monday. Bye.